You know them when you see them. They're people who think that the world's flat or that Chris Benoit didn't murder his family. They're called truthers. They're people for whatever reason think that you're wrong and they're right. And they're one of a sacred few who has seen the truth. They get the inside edge. Today's truther thinks that Kero the Wolf is innocent, and I'm going to try and see if we can get in there and out as fast as possible. Also, this is Scar the Fur. He's today's topic. He set his comment section to pre-approved, so we know what we're dealing with. It's one of those people.
Inevitably ended up on kiwi farms. To be honest, I was actually surprised how long it took. I was more or less checking the forums daily for 10 days after my initial Kero video went up.
Does anyone out there like me yet?
We'll be responding to, in part, the following videos. I'll be showing them each time I bring them up. This one is discussion, Kero follow-up. Want to bet this guy, like most furries, doesn't take criticism well?
I am going to keep monitoring the forums in the future, just in case.
After just looking at this part, I feel like it practically speaks for itself, but let's not get too bogged down by comments already.
After my last video, I decided to start taking the evidence more head-on, and after realizing it actually is legal to be where I am. To my surprise, though, all the files were missing. The original posts of them and archives had been taken down for violating Mega's terms of service. What the uploaders had not paid attention to was the illegality of distributing explicit bestiality material. Attempting to access this material informs you that it has been removed for violating Mega's terms of service, and that the information of its users had been turned over to the authorities. And the possible implications for its uploader on kiwi farms are kind of frightening.
What's that? We have an internet lawyer here. I think you're assuming that the uploader didn't have a VPN, and yes, there are ways to work around that, but there's also this. It's the PACT Act. You also might be aware of this because you seem to be aware of Archive the Wolf, but even so, I will include a link to their video talking about this. Recently, or at least relatively speaking, there was a federal law that was passed on animal abuse that falls between interstate lines, and it's considered a felony. Now, I'm not a lawyer, but it is possible, this is just me freestyling, that the images were uploaded before the PACT Act had passed. It's weird that this man is willing to bend over backwards to let Kero go and is rubbing his hands together. I'm arguing crossing his fingers, hoping that, as Ashley Zoe Fox put it,
that damn kiwi farm.
He's kind of hoping that people at kiwi farms gets locked up. Full disclosure, I'm jumping around the video. There will be a link to the description to the full one, well, all the full ones that I can still find. Case in point.
We're saying things like, "So you're defending a zoo sadist?" To which my response is, I'm defending him because I don't think he is one.
To be fair, in my video on Kero the Wolf, I was skeptical. The very first one I did. Mostly because who could possibly be that warped into doing things like Kero had been accused of? How my perception of the world has changed since then. So I'm not mad at our subject, Scar, for flubbing. But he's kind of made 3 videos on this. Mistakes do happen, but it takes someone special to double and triple down on said mistakes.
The fact of the matter is, I think he is innocent based on all the evidence I have consumed, and he has yet to be convicted in a legal setting.
Okay, hi. I'm FNGR from the Bernie fandom. I help expose multiple pedophiles in my community with the aid of my friends and peers. I have the audio confessions many of those times. I'm going to make an effort to include 5 to 10 of them at the end of this video. And do you know what they all have in common, Scar? None of those people are in jail. If you want to jump to those examples, I'll try to include a timestamp somewhere in the comment section or in the description. That part's going to be kind of long, and I don't want to disrupt the flow of this video more than I have to.
I'm not saying everyone has to draw the same conclusions I have, but I don't see a reason to make this personal against anyone who is on the opposite side of myself.
So Scar, Pookie, baby doll, most people think that Kero had sex with his dog and then the dog died. We could go into the nittier, grittier, grosser details about that, but needless to say, what would be a reason to make this personal, Scar? Where is your line for you to make something personal? I get what you're saying, but you're not as smart as you're trying to make yourself out to be. And that's as polite as I can possibly make that.
I missed. A lot of people source the Beast Forum website as being actual evidence. And the truth of the matter is, it's kinda, but not really. For me, this is the first piece of evidence levied against Kero that I can't provide counter-evidence to. The account archive is not only available through Archive Today, but also the Wayback Machine. The parallels between it and Kero's FA are admittedly pretty concerning. Some of the posts shown off in Archive's video also show some of these as well. It's solid, but it's not compelling.
So, For those of you guys who don't know, this is Archive the Wolf. They rock. Go subscribe to them.
To share many, many traits beyond those photos. Now, on their own, these points aren't necessarily damning. They're like puzzle pieces. Individually, they don't show anything. But when you piece them together in conjunction with the photo upload dates, it starts to form a bigger picture. Number 1. Zoophilia. This one's self-evident with Dogman 2, and Kero has confessed to being a zoophile to at least 2 people.
Through talking to him more, come to find out, he is actually interested in real-life animals.
And he does have an interest in some aspects of zoophilia.
Like real-life animals.
Number 2. The dog. In addition to having the same photos of the same dog, both owned a male Australian Shepherd German Shepherd mix. Number 3. Location. On September 14th, 2014, Dogman 2 shared he was moving to Oakdale, a suburb in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. On October 8th, 2014, Kero uploaded the following to Vine.
I'm going to college in 4 days. I'm so excited.
On his Pennsylvania first profile, he specified his location as Oakdale. And on November 30th, 2014, Dogman 2 made a post describing himself as a college student. Both would later list their locations as Pittsburgh. Number 4. Videography. Kero's interest in videography and editing is self-evident, and Dogman 2 made numerous posts offering to film and edit acts of bestiality in exchange for having sex with the animals afterwards. Number 5. Anti-hunter, nature-loving furries. Both describe themselves as nature lovers and are extremely against hunting. Number 6. Punctuation. Both make the same punctuation mistakes in their writing. Spaces are frequently put in front of the punctuation mark instead of behind like it's supposed to happen, or sometimes there'll be a space and then a punctuation mark and then another space. It is a common pattern in both of their writings. Number 7. Cheesecake is life. Kero likes to say, Cheesecake is life, and Dogman 2's Kick username was Cheesecake is life 44. Number 8. Maw Fetish.
Now, Kero is publicly into Maws and Vor, that's an open secret.
Number 9. Arf Arf.
And that is the way that Kero greets people. I'd only ever spoken to him once before, very briefly, and the first thing he said to me is, Arf Arf, had a quick question.
Kero the Wolf and Dogman 2, that's this video here. Now, it's possible a fanatical fan went through this much trouble, or fanatical fans, studied Kero, made a Kero the Wolf account on this animal abuser website, well, with an alias, whatever, studied his punction, location, fetishes, typing mannerisms, catchphrases, all to get Kero the Wolf, and could poke a hole in that. If you told me that someone went to these kind of great lengths to bury, let's say, P.K. Russell, I'd buy that because P.K. Russell is kind of an insufferable dick. The problem with this is that Kero never really gave a motive why people would go out of their way to go after him. Why was the world's biggest gay op perpetrated on Kero the Wolf? It just doesn't make sense.
A lot of back and forth between the two sides of the debate, with evidence coming out and then it either being outright debunked or having the validity heavily undercut. A big problem is a lot of this went unheard and is still not acknowledged or known about by many people.
Sorry, what? By the way, learn how to use noise removal on your audio editing. I noticed your hero Kero had the same mistake. What is it with you, you furries? So, now, how is solid not compelling? Hell, if you would have argued because you've seen crazy fans or trolls go to great lengths to frame people, or tried to cite, let's say, Spockter theory, that would have been something. You basically just went, doesn't count, not enough. Okay, but why? There's 2.5 minutes from Archive nailing Kero to the wall. Solid but compelling. As if you were some sort of authority. I'm trying really hard not to put words in your mouth. For this part of the video, you literally said nothing. You know what? The next time my girlfriend, Rouge, brings me a problem where I fucked up, I'm going to state solid but not compelling, and then she's going to slap the fuck out of me. And I'm going to go, see, I knew that was bullshit. Anyways.
Doxing by the same people who doxed Kero himself. A controversy that 2 years later is still being dragged out by its accusers.
Discussion, Kero's innocent. Translation, you guys need to get over this because it's making Scar upsetty spaghetti.
Of my admittedly short time in the fandom, I've never seen a topic that became so volatile, so violently divisive, that making a video like this could be, well, dangerous. The Kero the Wolf controversy is not for the faint of heart.
So, judging by your last video, Kiwi Farms posted one of your pictures that you posted in public. That seems to be the extent of the danger you've been put in, that a site full of Anons got a public image of yours and put it on a forum board. What the fuck are you talking about? Yes, some of the accusations against Kero were universally debunked. As for not letting people know about it, here is a video from the channel Neckbeardia. It has 500,000 views, where he mentions the fuck-ups. Granted, it's in a memeing manner, but there are tons and tons of videos that go out after it exactly talking about this. PK Russell had about 2 or 3 videos, I would imagine. If my memory serves right, they averaged about 50k views, breaking that down point by point. And then sadly that turned into a dick measuring contest between PK Russell and some crazed Antifa humper. I forget the guy's name. But to say it's not being covered, or it's hidden, I think you're on some magical BS.
In fact, some speculation brings up the idea that the Shane Dawson interview, which not only brought popularity to Kero, but the fandom as a whole, might have been the idea and motivation behind this kind of attack.
Hell, why stop there? Why not say that the people framing Kero the Wolf got a body double for Shane Dawson, and then had that same body double shove a penis cookie in that kid's mouth? And it wasn't really Shane Dawson, guys. It wasn't him either. It couldn't possibly be the fact that everyone around Kero the Wolf is a sick, demented freak. That could not be the possible case. What, do you think that Snake Thing's a pedophile? I mean, he's in prison right now. I'm just figured I'd ask. You know, Kero the Wolf's friend? I forget. I'm sorry. Derailed again there. Oh, by the way, did Shane Dawson ever make a solid stance on Kero? Let's pull up Sugar Shane cheering Kero, shall we?
I want him to rip my throat out with his teeth.
If you're going to judge a man based on beliefs that in many cases are unavoidable, then that's your problem. It's like criticizing a pedophile who has never raped a child, but only because he had thoughts.
Do you understand that Koth doesn't even stand behind that video anymore? He sees it as a big mistake. I've asked the man myself. You, like Koth, could stop heading down this path anytime you want to.
Kero never got hacked, and the police report Ashley posted was false. Whether they came from panic or from fear, these were lies. It can be easy to empathize that after becoming one of the largest names on the YouTuber space, throwing some fibs. It doesn't make it right, but this all becomes irrelevant when you just look at everything else in this video. I know I have to acknowledge it, as it is only fair.
So when you're saying when Kero lies, Poppy Fur is gonna Poppy Fur, boys will be boys. Now when accusers do it, we gotta let Kero go. Here is where Ashley Zofox lies and attempts to flag Mr. Metokur down for allegedly taking 6 minutes of uninterrupted footage.
Video where he decided to post his most recent one where he stated that, you know, the whole thing with Kero and the zoo crew or whatever. I'm gonna basically state this, so if he's smart and if anybody in here is watching that is friends with him, may want to let him know that he has probably less than 24 hours to delete that video from his channel, because he used over 6 minutes straight of my Kero interview, and I filed a DMCA copyright takedown with YouTube, and within the next 24 hours that video is going to be forced taken down by YouTube, and a strike is going to get placed upon his channel.
I want to bring this up now because this guy here, Scar, keeps bringing up a Kiwi Farms bullying these people. I mean, Kero had people literally trying to cover up evidence. He was trying to remove videos that exposed his guy. In my video, Kero the Wolf, the Fire Rises, I debunked going through Jim's video, which I was able to do by just running you were able to look at the preview and see how much of Ashley Zofox's video Jim used. Yes, Ashley lied. You can find archives of Jim's original video to still prove that that's it. Unless you want to say that I'm lying and I'm also in on the conspiracy. If so, by all means, I would like to have you on for a debate. That goes anyways. But yes, Kero the Wolf and his supporters are prepared to lie to cover up evidence. You yourself seem to be chipper about some of that evidence going poof!
But back to my main point. Yes, the logs are real. Now, before you pick up your torches and pitchforks, let's talk about what that actually means. Yes, Kero does have an interest in animals sexually, and he and Snake shared with each other some pornographic pictures of them.
Oh, so wait a second. He actually did have those conversations. Those logs weren't completely faked, were they, Kero? And when you tell people those chat logs are fake, what you mean is maybe sorta kinda huh?
I didn't say a lot of those things, but I will say a long time ago I was part of this group. It was for people who had an interest in feral artwork, And this place had safe for work and not safe for work. And I met this guy in there called Nalazar. And at the time we just chatted back and forth because we had the same interest in artwork. And eventually over time I just stopped talking to him because it kind of freaked me out how many questions he was asking about the actual act of zoophilia and everything. And I told him that I would never hurt any animals, and I just don't feel comfortable with it. So I eventually just dropped it and stopped talking to him. And now that this popped up, I now realize his name is Snake Thing, and he went by the name of Nalazar.
God, where have I heard that name before? Oh yeah, in the other guy's video, when he went to talk to him about you.
I was also able to get a hold of Snake Thing, the other person in the logs, through a mutual friend, and what he said matches up with this. The content that was exchanged between me and Kero mostly consisted of a few random tidbits of stuff we'd find together online. I cannot confirm, though I doubt he has done anything, whether or not he has actively participated in anything because I have personally never seen it. It may have been flaunted at times, but I do severely doubt he's done anything like that. We rolled with a fantasy at times.
So just it was fake, but it was real, but it was fake, but it was real, but here's this guy confirming that it was real.
Literally everything in the chat logs that was posted, 95% of that I did not say.
So some of it was.
Some of it is true. I talked to Nalazar. I told him fantasies about art and different stuff like that. We just had that bro talk, per se, like locker.
That's a lock. This is Kero winking at the camera because he knows that some people won't care. And that's what you are, Scar. You don't care. You want to let it be known that you want this poppy fur back, and every moment that he's gone, you're upset with us. Hey, Scar, be upset. It'll be a pleasure. It'll be an utmost pleasure to disappoint the hell out of you. Mwah!